What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this Arrow Season 6 video. So I was going to drop a flash video for today, but I uncovered something very interesting in the dark recesses of Reddit. So the Flash has pretty much got its villain confirmed for the next season, albeit that is again speculation, with Clifford DeVoe the Thinker perhaps actually being the villain for the next season of The Flash. Some people have said Godspeed, but we're not getting a speedster villain. Perhaps we'll get a speedster for the villain of the week, or we'll get the kind of evolution of Godspeed as we go on. But I don't think we're getting Godspeed, to be honest, for that. But Arrow Season 6, we haven't really heard or much about who could actually be the villain for Arrow Season 6. So there are a few names that people are probably throwing out there. I mean, there really is the world's oyster now, because what has actually happened is we have had a kind of DC rebirth sort of thing, as we have the past now completely done, and we're looking towards the future for Arrow. Now, I reckon that family will be the big part, and that is the theme for Arrow Season 6. However, we've had a very curious thing leak here on the internet, which is a casting call for someone called Ricardo Diaz. Now, if you don't know who that is, Ricardo Diaz is the new 52 version of the character Richard Dragon. Now, Richard Dragon was someone who really has a steeped history of DC. He was sort of the DC's version of Iron Fist. He was a thief, and then he got in and tried to actually become a martial arts hero, which is what he actually became. And, well, it's a pretty naff story, to be honest. I'm sorry, guys. It is. I'm sorry. It really, really is. However, it wasn't until New 52 where he actually had a pretty curious storyline where he became Ricardo Diaz Jr., and he started training with the League of Assassins after his father was killed. Now, who does that sound like? Well, to me, that sounds a lot like Prometheus, and they actually took quite a lot of Richard Dragon's story here, or at least Ricardo Diaz Jr.'s storyline here, for the character of Prometheus, whose father was a criminal, was killed, and then what actually happened was we had this, and really it is the story of Prometheus, to be honest. However, what actually happened was he fought pretty much everyone, and it's a pretty good storyline. I really would recommend checking it out. And he came back to take on or take over his father's criminal legacy. Now, that is the difference between him and Prometheus. Now, Prometheus was someone who wanted to kill Oliver or cause him a hell of a lot of pain, whereas Ricardo Diaz was someone who actually wanted to take his father's legacy and become a kind of criminal and take that power back, and which he pretty much does. However, it does look like in Arrow Season 6 we are getting a different version. So let's take a look at this leaked casting call. So Ricardo Diaz, male, 30s to 40s, diverse, hardened ex-con, recently released from prison for crimes that he didn't commit. Ricardo uses his freedom and $25 million in settlement money to establish control over Star City's underworld. He's a martial arts and fighting expert honed by years of life on the streets and in prison. So fractional series regular, which pretty much to me screams big bad. Someone who will be a series regular, but won't be it will be in parts, bits, etc. So what is going on? So really, this is a bit curious, because this casting call is weird, because usually they change the name of these characters. We had the Titans TV show that's coming to the DC All Access app, and what is weird is that those names were changed. We had names changed for the casting for the Inhumans TV show as well, but here it has not been changed. So the question I put in my previous video talking about who Richard Dragon actually is and how he could come to the show, I reckon that he probably wouldn't work due to the similarities to Prometheus. However, here what they are doing is they are turning him into an ex-con who was improperly imprisoned, and well, that makes it interesting. That does make it interesting. It makes it as someone who lived on the streets, may have been a criminal, and he was in prison, got all this money, and now he can buy his way to the top of Star City's criminal underworld. I do like that story. I really, really do like that story. They're taking the kind of sort of story, they're taking away his origin sort of from the comics, but what they're doing is they're changing it just a bit, but we're still getting the core essence of Richard Diaz or Ricardo Diaz here, which I think is pretty cool. I think it would really, really work, to be honest. It does fit very well. So let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think that this could happen? Please do drop a like. Please do subscribe. And I'll see you soon, and goodbye.